Okay. So it's recording. For whatever reason, I could record the other night. But I can post this link for the ones who miss it. Sorry, I'm getting all choked up. Do you guys, I kind of just think about what's going to be helpful for where we're at in this to share. And this kind of my loose strategy for the loose goose that I am. So, but before I jump into that, how is everything going for you guys? We're in our last week, and what's the most, I want to hear some of your takeaways from the challenge. What's been most valuable to you? I know I'm totally putting you on the spot.
I don't know. I think, having to log in every day and do all that. And then, I think that's a lot of it. And I like these little weekly things too. So
yeah, it's good. And it keeps you, because when it keeps you plugged into what you're, into focusing on your health every day by that accountability of checking these things daily, your water and your exercise and staying on your eating plan and things like that. Whereas we just have such a tendency, I think, as people in general, to run on autopilot. And that's when we get in trouble, when we're not being conscious about our choices. So, Lisa, what about you?
Yeah, I think just being consistently mindful of what I'm doing, having to seeing the little readings, just trying to educate myself on a daily basis, and just thinking about it and putting that in the forefront of my mind rather than being reactive to my life.
Yes. Yeah, there have been some really good readings that I've been, it's been good for me to read too. And I like how it's broken into little snippets each day.
Right.
It's my Habits of Health book. It's kind of like a textbook. And so it's not what I want to pick up at night or in the morning. After a day with the boys, I just really don't want to do anything that requires active thinking. I don't have the mental capacity at that time of the day to focus and engage. So with the shortened readings, it all comes from here. But just having the couple of paragraphs each day, I think that's been good. And my encouragement to you all, because this is a lifelong deal, is just give yourself grace for when you need it, but don't stay in that place. Pick back up and go when you can. I had a rough week last week. Some months I just let my hormones dictate how I'm going to eat.
Hormones are seriously the worst.
Yeah. So I saw were you the one that posted that day?
Me and Dawn have said similar things on that, but
yeah,
I like my ability to withstand, I just feel like eating.
Yeah. Well, the things that are going to help you the most, especially this week if you're close, is limiting your carb intake and make it the right kind of carbs, and portion control. And so I was kind of flipping through here. Is this backwards to you guys, like the print, or is it right?
It's so small, I can't see the print.
I think it's okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to give you that visual close up, and I'll kind of read to you a little bit. But he's talking about, how do you say the word satiety? When you say, when you're satiated, when you're full, Satiety. Anyway, when you feel full, the key to feeling full. But it says research shows that we eat about the same volume or weight of food every day. So it makes sense, if you want to feel full quicker, to eat foods that are low density. So that means they contain a lot of water, and then high volume, meaning there's a large amount of food per calorie. So he uses vegetables and fruits as an example. Make that the bigger amount of what you're eating, and more vegetables than fruits, really, so you don't have the sugar intake. In addition to being high in water content, they contain lots of nutrients, so they create a sense of fullness. That's why making foods from this group a large part of your meal is so effective for weight loss and maintenance. So the best energy dense, he talks about controlling your intake through energy density. The best ED is less than 1. He has this kind of a formula that I'll type this up. But that's your fruits and vegetables, skim milk, broth-based soups. So those are the low density but high volume foods that it's best to do more of. And then your low ED, the next best, is your cooked grains, cereal with low-fat milk, low-fat meats, and beans and legumes, and low-fat mixed dishes and salad. So the highest ED, that's the crackers, the chips, chocolate candies, cookies, nuts, butter, and full-fat condiments. He says don't eat this stuff when you're hungry. But if it's really a craving and you just need the taste of it, then eat a couple of bites of it, but do it when you're not hungry. And that just makes sense.
Don't overdo it.
Yeah. So, and kind of in between there, kind of on the higher end of thing, are your meats and cheeses, high-fat mixed dishes, salad dressing, and some snack foods. So, and I've mentioned it before, but I'll just re-mention it. If you go on or you can Google, you can Google anything. But if you'll Google low glycemic choices, but I've typed up out of this book the list of the lowest to highest glycemic choices of every food category. So even into your meats and and which kind of oils are best, lowest glycemic vegetables and fruits, and it tells you which ones are higher. So that would kind of tell you which ones to try and stay away from or to eat a limited amount of. But it's on my Facebook page on the left-hand column down a little bit, and it says shopping healthy. So that I typed that out of there. But you may be already in a good groove with what you're doing. So if you are, just stay with it. If you're really close and you want to ensure that you get to because we've all gotten our points now. You two are the front runners. So I don't know that I'm going to catch up with you now because I missed Saturday. I didn't get in here on time. So, so now it's just a matter of meeting your 6% goal on your weight if you chose that category. So whenever I was really focused on getting my weight off, even though I was using a structured program to help me, that's just what I needed. But I would not eat within 2 hours of going to bed, and I would try and do not salty, not towards the later part of the day. So and then just like I said, controlling your portions. If you do more fruits and vegetables and do a small portion of lean protein. I'm going to go through here tonight. I think it'd also be good. He gives the comparisons, like a serving of meat or the right portion of meat is the size of a deck of cards. He gives you some very common, and I think the fruits and vegetables is like the size of a small paperback, to eyeball that. So. But anyway, as we're into the home stretch, I'm going to be really super focused this week to kind of make up for some of my damage last week. And that's what I do. I've just learned that is maintaining. And sometimes I let myself go a little longer than I should. I really wore skirts and dresses too much this summer. And I did really good until almost the end of July. And then I relaxed just enough and misbehaved just enough to where now, like my jeans that were fine in the spring this year, I'm like, okay, there's work to do. That's a really accurate system of measurement for me. I don't weigh all the time, but I know where my clothes are. So I don't go back to the place where I need to buy new clothes, but I'm more limited in what I do have to select from, so, but it's just, if I misbehave for a while, then I just know I'm going to have to behave more than I misbehave, to kind of bring it back down and keep it in check. So I'm not a machine. I'm not going to be perfect. There's going to be days that are emotional or just days I really want something. And so, but you just, you fight back. So. But as you're, and I think I typed something like this last night. Take what you've learned from the challenge and go through, if you want to go back through the readings and copy and paste some of the readings into a document that you'll have in your computer, to go back and review sometime the things that you can do. Some of the things I tried to copy and paste come out white, so you can't see them. But I think the daily readings you can.
Well, and I saw you can download that ebook, like there's a link and you can get a PDF version. So I haven't read it, but I downloaded it. So when this is over, then I can use that as readings.
Absolutely. And it's just about 45 minutes worth of reading. And he's got, really good graphics to go along, and it's easy reading format. So yeah, that's a great tool, a great resource. It's very practical, and you can see that, he just really, he was just done with putting 100 hours in a week and not having time with his family, and people weren't changing their ways. He was performing surgeries and prescribing pills, and that was all he could do, and it wasn't even helping people. So he kind of got in on the front end of it and really tries to educate with what else he offers. And so it's very good stuff. And so I'll post a little bit more tonight. And is there any questions y'all have? Anything you need?
No.
I don't think so. So what is today, the 20th? We'll have one more meeting like this?
Yes. And I think let's see if I have my notebook in here, because I took notes before all this started. I'll post there. We have 2 or 3 days to weigh out, so there's a window of about.
It's like I think it's the 28th through the 30th.
Yeah, that can. Yeah. And you can weigh out do your pictures in the same clothes you started in, and I think you'll do your pictures about the same way. So the full length shot, and then of you standing on the scale in the same clothes with a picture of your weight, and then if there's
the same number, do we use the same number? Do you know?
Yeah, I would imagine.
Okay.
I think they'll probably give us detailed directions on that.
Like next week. Okay.
Yeah, it's gone by fast. I mean,
yes.
Really fast. But one thing I want to, if y'all are interested, I'll be happy to keep doing Zoom meetings, on maybe a weekly basis, just to check in and just for support, because then we go back after the challenge, or it's easy to feel like you're doing it alone. And
there's Thanksgiving and Christmas.
And I think there's if what I heard is true, we'll have another challenge starting up in January. So I think that'll be good, because it'll kind of help us refocus after the holidays. Mm-hmm. So can't
beat the price.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, and y'all can think about me this weekend. I'm going to one of the speakers at a ladies' retreat that our church is having, and we're going to go to Falls Creek and stay in a cabin there. And one of the other speakers, and she's our new children's minister's wife, but we've known her we knew them before they came to our church. But she was listing off all of the snacks and all of the stuff that she likes, that she's bringing, and all the different kinds of cookies, and telling everybody to bring snacks. I don't care what they say, bring snacks. And so, when I'm really focused, I can do fine. And I think it'll be good accountability with the challenge, knowing that I have to weigh out, Monday or Tuesday. I think that will help me pull through the weekend. So when I'm in situations like that, I usually survive by taking beef jerky, and almonds, something like that, where I can still snack, but it's going to be the lesser of the evils. And I don't buy beef jerky all the time, partly because it's expensive, and then you have all of the preservatives and stuff in it. But I do use it in like when I'm traveling for a day, 1 or 2 or 3 days in the car, like we did last year. And I wanted to show myself when we went to Wyoming last year that I could maintain or lose on vacation because we were gone 12 days with driving. And I managed to lose after I lost the water weight from the car ride. You know, I waited a couple of days to weigh and I lost 2 or somewhere between 2 and 4 pounds.
Wow.
And that's how I survived in the car. I would buy a little package of almonds or 2 at each, at the gas stations if I knew I was feeling snacky, or beef jerky, and just stayed away from the chips and the sweets, because once I take that bite, it's just like if I let myself start this weekend, I won't stop, because those cravings will be in full force. So, but anyway, all right. Well, if you guys don't have anything, we'll call it good.
Thank you.
Thank y'all,
you.
and I'll see you on our page.
Good night.
Right.
Good
Bye.
night. Bye.